Ooh. I'll let y'all come in the room. Hey, everybody. Y'all know I haven't been on here in a long time. So let me give y'all a few minutes because y'all probably were not even expecting. This is very random. Hey, Miss Sharon. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Text me sometime. You be on my mind. Hey, Jen. Thank you. Okay. Whew. Now, I don't put this in a whole nother room so I can be cool. And let me tell you, I am still hot. All right? So, y'all see me fanning, don't pay me no attention. Okay? So, gosh, it's been a minute. So, as always, thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. If you got questions, go ahead on and drop them. I know I've been taking some me time, some extended me time. Okay, I apologize, but I have been posting some videos on YouTube and TikTok of what I think is important. But we can talk about whatever right now. So if you got questions about something, please do. Miss Aura, who's probably not on here yet, she texted me. A bunch of y'all been texting me, asking me where I've been. And so I've been here. I just had not been on online. Okay. So again, thank you very much. Jen, you say you want to connect at a more personal level? Absolutely. If you want to reach out to me, you can. You can send me an email, shamikasaves@gmail. If you don't already got the phone number, okay? Because everybody else do. Let me make sure this lash is not super crooked. Sorry, y'all. I got to make sure I'm good to go. Okay. So thank y'all for being here. Please tag somebody if you know somebody. Y'all know I always got some good information to give y'all. Probably not everything is going to be great that we're going to talk about, but it is what it is. Just because I have not been live does not mean I have been out of the picture, out of the loop. I've definitely been paying attention to what's been going on. A lot of it has been pissing me off. And because of that, I've been choosing not to go live as often because we are in the day and age of, I'm gonna figure out what's the right word I want to use, but I want to say like retaliation. Okay. So you have to be mindful what you say online. You always had to be, but I think more so now because everybody tells on everybody. And it's too easy to go viral. And it's too easy to put out a lot of bad information real fast. Okay. So if you got any questions for me, please ask. And I'll tell you what's been going on. Hey, Sino. It has been, even though I have not been here, y'all have definitely been hitting me up. A lot of y'all been dealing with layoffs. Okay, that's unfortunate. I tell everybody to, if you are afraid or you're starting to see this happen, then you need to already be prepared to have something else lined up for yourself. Some of the easiest things to get into would be independent adjusting. Some of y'all need to get into IT, okay? This might be your sign. If you've been trying to get into cybersecurity or IT work, this might be the sign you need, okay? Some of y'all need to go ahead on and explore those self-employment ideas, all right? A lot of y'all got businesses, business ideas. Not everything is gonna work, but it's time to explore those things because, in my opinion, hustle culture never went anywhere, but it's going to come back, okay? If you have a business, you might see that people are slowing up and not going to be able to pay like they used to, okay? Because, again, people are getting laid off. I've been doing a lot of bankruptcies still, even though I have not been here. You guys, that's right. Sharon, Miss Sharon said y'all hit the like button. Thank you, Miss Sharon. I appreciate that. Y'all hit the like button and share and all that good stuff. We've definitely been doing bankruptcies for people. At least people have been thinking about it, calling, looking at your credit to determine what, I can give you my opinion. You guys can take it from there to decide what it is that you want to do. But we are right now in the day and age, because we don't know what's going to happen in the economy, that if you can get yourself out of debt, that is exactly what you want to do. because it's not favorable for the people. Okay, right now it's not favorable for the people, so I'm just letting y'all know. Okay, what else been going on? Student loans. You guys know already that they have come back for repayment. They've also added back the option where they can now take you guys to court basically and garnish your wages. They can garnish everything except Social Security income and not Social Security disability. It did not say anything about regular Social Security. That's for people who are 62 and older. But if you are somebody who you know you got to pay your student loans and you have not got into a hardship program, or at least in a forbearance by doing the borrower's defense or something, you are setting yourself up. Okay, this is the time to stop watching baddies for like 20 minutes, okay, 30 minutes, and let's handle some important stuff. Some of the stuff that I'm seeing online is sad. Let me put this on focus. Do not start. Okay. Some of the stuff that I've been seeing is bad, but a lot of it is because we are not prioritizing what it is that we need to do to make sure we handle our business. Okay. So if you got any questions about student loans or what you should possibly do, you can holler at me too. You can ask that here. Okay. Jen, send me a message, shamikasaves@gmail, and I will send you my phone number. Okay. And a lot of y'all probably already have it. I'm very free with my phone number, unfortunately. But that's because it's the best way to get in touch with me. Okay. I don't know if you. Let me get to the garnishment, but let me get a chair really quick. Hold on, guys. Okay. I was thinking to myself, why should I stand up this whole time? Let me sit down. All right. If you guys don't know how the garnishment process works, if you have not, if you've entered into repayment and it's been 9 months, just a little short of 9 months, they will then soon come after your money. Okay. If y'all have not noticed, this is almost perfect timing for tax time, which means if you have not made some type of arrangement, then the strong chance of them taking your tax refund. Okay. A lot of y'all don't care about that until tax time. This is the time you want to get in front of it, because in order to stop a tax refund garnishment, you are going to either need to file bankruptcy, or you're going to need 3 months in advance of handling your business in order to, and when I say handling your business, that means 3 months of payments in order to stop the collection. So if that's any of you guys, let's get in front of that, okay? I just posted a video on TikTok. I will also post it on YouTube for those who aren't able to be on the live, because of course y'all didn't know I was going to go live. Just last week, the Trump administration overturned the Trump administration's judge. Okay, I'm not going to say Trump himself, but one of the judges that he appointed, a federal judge, overturned what Biden's administration did when he was in office, and that pertains to your credit reports. Okay, a lot of you guys are probably going to, if you got outstanding medical debt, you may see debts reappearing on your credit reports. Okay, the Biden administration stated that any debts that were $500 or less were not going to show up on your credit reports. They also stated that banks or loan officers would not take your medical debts into consideration when giving you a mortgage. That is no longer true. Both of those things have changed. Okay, so one, if you got medical debts that are $500 or less, they will either reappear on your credit, or they're going to now be reported on your credit. Okay, so those are the two things for bullet number one. And for bullet number two, now when you go to get a mortgage, the bank, the mortgage officer, the loan officer, whoever, whatever their title is, they are now going to take into consideration all of your medical debt when they are looking at your debt to income ratio. It used to be that was not there, which helped you guys qualify for more house than you could, I guess, afford if you were to look at your whole picture. But now that this has changed, more, if you get approved, you're going to get approved for a lesser amount of a home, depending on how much outstanding medical debt you have. Okay, so you guys, just want y'all to be aware of that if you're in the market for a home, and if you have outstanding medical debt. Okay, so out of all the things that your boy in the White House has been doing, I can tell you guys that the biggest change is probably the EBT. I don't know if anybody has any questions about the SNAP or EBT, that work requirement. That is probably going to be the biggest change. Yes, Jen, unfortunately, what people aren't paying attention to is that individuals, millions of people have had their credit, well, their credit is going to be hit twice this year. The first was when the student loans came into repayment. And if you guys had outstanding student loans, that could have been up to a 100-point drop. Now, with this medical debt, there goes another drop, okay? So, unfortunately, this is just what I think. I think they put people in a position of need where you're always going to need them. Okay. Why? Because you're going to be in debt. Two, your credit's going to be trashed, which means when you try to go get these credit cards, you're going to get high interest rates, crappy cards, probably secure cards. Everything you get is going to cost you more because you have bad credit. And in my opinion, the government is setting it up for that very same thing because of the two things that they're hitting you with, which is your student loans and now this medical debt. Okay. And we still, the jury is still out on what they're going to do with the SBA. All right. So let's not forget that there are a lot of people who have not paid their SBA loans, the monthly payment. Okay. And that's for the EIDL loans that were due, that were paid during COVID. Okay. They are still determining what to do with that. And if they choose to sell your debts to a debt collector, then you guys know what's going to happen. That's now going to show up on your credit. And it doesn't matter if you got it in your name or your business name. I'm almost certain they're going to change the rules as it pertains to a personal guarantee, because they want to mess up your credit so that you're not able to afford anything, and everything that you can get is going to cost you a whole lot more. So please pay attention to that. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but I have rarely been wrong when it comes to what I see, when it comes to this market and these interest rates, and when it comes to credit. And if there's a way that these business owners can make a lot of money off of poor decisions, bad credit management, and because a majority of us weren't taught how to deal with credit, they're going to make the money, and the government is going to support them. Okay. Why? Because those same people are the ones who donate to their campaigns. All right. We unfortunately can't give them $4 and $5 million donations, but these companies can, which is why they get to do what they want to do, because one hand must wash the other hand. Okay. What was the other thing I want to tell y'all about? And please, again, if y'all got any questions, ask, let me know. Jen says, I never made one payment. Can I fix it? If you have not made any payments on your student loans and you are not in a forbearance or a hardship program, which also gives you a forbearance, then that might be something you need to be concerned with. Okay. You need to look at your credit. If you are not making payments, your credit should reflect a missed payment every month. Okay. That's very important. All right. So I don't want them to catch you at tax time when you need your money and then you can't get your refund. All right. And I know that's exactly what's going to happen. The loans just came back in May. If you count 9 months, that's May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Who starts getting their money around that time? Tax people. Okay. Believe me. Hey, Shamar, they are not doing this by mistake. All of this is by design. Hey, skinny jeans and big skirts. So how fast can I get to a 700 credit score? It depends on what's on your credit. I don't even know what score you have right now. And 700 is what a lot of people, 800 is out of there for a lot of folks. Okay. But one thing y'all need to realize too is to get to 700 and 800 credit scores, that takes time on top of all the other things you have to have on your credit to make sure that you're building it the right way. You do not have to have super high limits on your credit cards. It looks good when it comes to getting more credit, but you don't have to have that. You just have to have the right mix. And the craziest part is the credit bureaus already let you know what your score is comprised of. Okay, it's like 6 things. Okay, and as long as you have that mix of credit, that you pay on time, you have a good history, and and I'm not against authorized users. If you want to hop on somebody else's credit to piggyback to give you some extra time, all things help. But it's hard to tell you how to get to a 700 fast without knowing what you have already. Okay, but I'm glad you're here. Hey, and nice to see you. Okay, again, if you're on TikTok, you can tag and share that with somebody. Hit the like button. I appreciate. Oh, your SBA loan. Yeah. So Jen, don't feel bad. A lot of people have not paid their SBA loans. I can tell you right now, they're being quiet on it. They were talking about it with the Biden administration, what to do. This is what I feel is going to happen because they did it with everything else. They are soon, because they lifted the where we did not have to pay. Okay, we had a forbearance on those too. That is lifted. Now they're just letting these loans accrue interest. And they're probably having backroom conversations to decide on how they're going to handle recouping the money. They know good and well that they cannot come to you guys and say, give me all your laptops, printers, and all that, because the stuff that y'all supposed to have spent the money on, you probably don't have. Okay. And if you did, it's probably not worth anything after all this time. Okay. So what's the best way to get you? To mess up your opportunity to get any more lending in the future, and to make everything more expensive for you, which is to attack your credit. Right now, we don't know which way. They threw a couple things in the air. But one thing that I'm probably certain they're going to do is they're going to start adding all of the debts that you owe to the government to the what's the program called? Treasury, the TOP program, the Treasury Offset program. I'm sure they're going to add all your debts to that program, and then they're just going to start taking. Okay, and I'll give you guys an example. I had somebody call me. They found me on YouTube, and she said they did this was back when the IRS was giving those businesses the loans. If they had so many, not the loans, when the IRS was giving the not EIC, what was it? When you had employees, I can't think of it right now. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you had employees, you can do some paperwork and the IRS would give you some money. Some people getting $20,000, $30,000. Hey, Tracy. Well, this person did it. Hey, Shamar, text me a question, please. I'll get it after the live. This individual did it, and the IRS did not believe them. And instead of the IRS declining their loan, the IRS said, well, we're going to get smart, and what we're going to do is, since you were supposed to pay us taxes for these employees that you claim you have, we're going to say you owe us a debt, and if you want the money from us, you have to prove that you had these employees. So do you think that person is going to call the IRS and say, I lied to get this money, or were they going to take the damage? This person took the damage, and now they owe an additional $9,000 to the IRS because of a scam they tried to get, a scam they did to try to get money. Okay. So, so if you guys are playing around with that, and I could be speaking to somebody, or you might know somebody that knows somebody, you need to, when you go into your irs.gov account, I tell you guys to always create that account. It's important to see what you owe. It's important to see if they sent you any letters, but you also need to log in on the business side so that you can see if you owe. Because when we open up her IRS account, we cannot see her business fees or fines. We have to actually click on the different one to see. So if you did anything like that, if you got a business, and if you got an irs.gov account, just click on the business so you can see, because you need to familiarize yourself with looking at it. All right. People make mistakes, and you may have something that's being charged you that you didn't even know. Okay. But in this woman's case, it was all hers. They tried to run a fast play. They paid this person this money up front. The IRS did not give them the money, but they did say, you're going to pay us because you submitted information saying you had employees and we want that money, okay? So if they're doing that, you best believe they have not forgotten about these SBA loans. They are just being quiet right now until they figure out what they're going to do, okay? Jen says, my credit has a lot of charge-offs from years ago, but someone just added me to 5 cards over 30 years of excellent credit, low utilization, and outstanding pay history. Will this help me big time? It will help you some. Um, uh, One thing that I like to get you guys to understand when it comes to credit, I don't care about your score, okay? And you guys should not care about your score. All right. Your score is secondary, in my opinion. And I'll explain why. When it comes to your credit, the content of your credit matters. And I'm just going to use this and I'm going to put this in layman's terms. Ladies, when it comes to a man, it is great if he is attractive and fine and all that. But if he got money, he can provide a stable household, that's what we want over how he looks. We could take the look second, all right? That is the same thing when it comes to your credit. Fellas, same thing y'all probably do with a woman. Y'all want somebody that's a Susie homemaker, look good, don't talk too much, whatever, okay? So it's the content of your credit is what matters first. If you have a lot of charge-offs, one, what does that say about you? Okay, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person, but we have to make sure that your credit is translating or it's actually being a good indicator of who you are as a person. So if you got a lot of charge-offs, that can mean you're irresponsible. That could have meant you went through a divorce. That meant you could have lost your job. That meant you could have been sick. It could be any of those things. One, we don't want those things for people to be asked those questions about us. But having a lot of charge-offs mean also that you did not pay somebody back what you promised that you were going to pay, which means now I'm going to charge you higher interest because I don't trust you, okay? Same with the whatever the reason that had you go into debt in the first place. The third thing, when you guys add authorized users, and I'm glad, Jen, that you got somebody with great payment history and over 30 years and all that, but please remember that it is very clear on your credit that it is an authorized user. So when you go to get more credit or a loan or whatever, they know that it's not your history because it clearly says it on your credit report. So we can't think that just adding an authorized user masks the issue. The only reason I would tell someone to add an authorized user is because it gives you the opportunity to boost your score temporarily. It does not fix the issue. And the issue is what's on your credit. So we have to fix the issue, okay? Whether that's get into a repayment plan, wait until the 7 years until it falls off, file bankruptcy. I will never tell you guys to do a debt management plan. I will never tell you guys to get into one of those programs that you see on TV that comes late at night. Stay away from those. They actually mess up your credit worse. I'll be happy to explain if you want to know. But I just want you to know that, Jen, because some people do what you're doing and they trick themselves and believe that adding an authorized user will fix it all. And it doesn't. It just gives you a temporary boost of score because once you remove that authorized user, your score will also drop. Now, it's not going to drop a lot, but it will drop, okay? You say your name was on a PPP loan. You had COVID for a long time. Okay, I had COVID for a long time, and I could. Okay, well, I'm sorry that you caught COVID, and if you had a PPP loan, I don't know why you have not done the forgiveness. I hope that you have done it. Answer me that. Have you did your forgiveness for your PPP loan? And y'all, yes, it is 2025, and there are still people who have not completed the PPP stuff, okay? That's no shade to anybody. I just want you to know that there are people out there. You're not the only one, Jen, that has come to me that said, I did not do anything with it. You cannot sweep the government under the rug and think that they will not come back because they do. They don't go anywhere. The only thing they do is lie dormant because they are charging you interest. And while they're charging you interest, that $5,000 you might have started with is now 10. And you don't know how you got there. Well, I can tell you how. Because you did not, you were not proactive. That is what they want. I'm telling you, you cannot be that way, okay? We need to be a proactive society, not reactive. And that is why so many people are filing bankruptcy, because you guys didn't get in front of this before you got too deep in debt, okay? I talked to a lady today. She makes almost $100,000. Okay. And she does not have a car. She does not have her own place. And she makes over almost $100,000. Some of y'all I'm talking to don't even make that much, okay? And y'all getting by. So I had to just be honest and say, you know, I ain't getting your business. I ain't passing no judgment. But where is the money going? Because I know based off of that much, even if you take taxes out and you paying for life insurance and all of that, you still bringing $2,000 every 2 weeks. So where's the money going? That tells me she has a spending problem. Then I looked at her credit, and there are nothing but charge-offs. You know what that tells me? There's a spending problem, okay? So it doesn't take, it's not too hard to determine what the issue is with some of y'all just by looking at your credit. I could tell you, it's very easy for me to tell a lot about you just by looking at it, okay? That's very, very important. And if I can do that and I don't even make loan decisions, imagine what the people who make loan decisions, what they get from it too, okay? It says, no, the loan you were talking about was a PPP loan. I didn't have one only. Okay, so Jen, just so you know, hey, Fox, the PPP loan and the SBA loan, well, as the EIDL loan, those are two loans, but they were both given the fund. They were both funded by the SBA, okay? The PPP loan is the one that you do the forgiveness and you didn't have to pay it back. The EIDL loan is the one you got to make your monthly payments on. There is no forgiveness on that, okay? So I don't know which one you had, but just so you know that they're both administered or funded by the SBA, but who service them are two different people, okay? Okay, thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. But no, it wasn't the PPP loan. That's not what I was thinking about. The IRS gave out an employment tax credit loan, not even a loan. It was an employment tax credit thing. So that was a totally different thing. This is when people were filing their taxes. And well, you filed a tax form saying you had employees and based off, and you submit it to the IRS and they would give you some money. So some people were playing the game, getting money through that too. And that was not PPP and that was not the SBA. This is a whole total different thing. So for a time of period, people were getting some money, okay? People were. Queen Brittany says, how can I get my student loans to go away? Well, there are a couple ways you can get it to go away. Now, yes, you can remove it from your credit report. I do not recommend anybody remove student loans from your credit report because some of y'all, the student loans is the longest credit history that you have because most of us got student loans when we were teens or early 20s. So if you remove them from your report, your score will go down more than likely, a very high chance of it because they're old, okay? The other way you can get rid of your student loans, you can still do the public service loan forgiveness if you are a government employee, police officer, if you're a nurse. They have now, I ain't gonna say now, it's always been there. It's a very broad, but if you work for a nonprofit, and some of y'all do work for a nonprofit, if you work for a nonprofit, you need to get those forms. If you don't know what it is, send me a message at my email, shamikasaves@gmail. I will send you the form. It's one page, okay? Take it to your HR person, have them fill it out and submit it, okay? You have to have 10 forms for 10 years, and you have to have been making payments or at least been on the $0 hardship plan and submit it to Department of Education to get your forgiveness. Another forgiveness you could do is the borrower's defense. There is a list of schools. If your school is on the list, please put in your application. There was a hold, okay? It was almost a year, okay? But it's open. You can submit those again. Yes, CC Silver, if you are a nurse and you work for a hospital, hospitals are considered nonprofit. You can't apply. They do not specify stuff like that out loud because do you know how many people will be submitting to get those off, okay? It is first responders and nurses in a lot of categories are considered that, okay? So see who your employer is. If the hospital you work for is considered a nonprofit, and most of them are because the government gives them funding, then you can submit your application, okay? Let's see. Hey, Letitia, thank you. She says, welcome back and loving the new blessings to you. Thank you. Let's see. I was just approved for my nonprofit. Congratulations. That is not a long, hard process. I think more people should do it. Not for nothing. If you got a nonprofit, baby, it's a great way to get things for cheap. Okay? Now, what you do with it after you buy it don't got nothing to do with me. But getting a nonprofit is a great way to get things for cheap. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? All right, let me see what else you're saying. Okay, and then the last thing, Queen Brittany, if you want them to go away and the public service loan don't work and the borrower's defense don't work, then try your best, because I don't recommend y'all have them taken off your credit report. Then try your best to see if you can get where you owe $0. Okay, a lot of y'all only need to add a couple dependents. All right, and if y'all are claiming, because a lot of people switch kids, okay? I'm not saying you should, but if you carrying 2 and 3 people on your tax forms, I don't know why you ain't calling your student loan servicer and asking for a hardship to let them base your payment amount based off of how many people you got in your household. You say you got 4, you and them 3 kids, boom, I just helped you lower your payment. So that's a way, all right? They do require you to do it annually. So, you know, if you want to keep them payments low, you got to make sure you keep them dependents. All right. Yes, Jen, we can talk. I can send you a couple websites that you can go to get you some stuff. Okay. Send me a message. All right. Let me see what else y'all asking really quick. Teachers, believe it or not, you can ask. Now, teachers, you got it. This is funny with teachers, but I looked it up, and yes, teachers can do it because teachers work for the state government. The state government is nonprofit. Okay, so JJ, I know they don't put these jobs out there because if they listed all the things that are considered nonprofit, a lot of y'all will be submitting your applications, and they don't want that. Okay, but teachers absolutely can. I looked it up, and I even looked up substitute teachers can do it too because they work for the school board, and the school board works for the government, and the government is nonprofit. It's a state government. Okay, so yes, you can do that for that too. That's what I'm saying. You got to look at who you work for to see if you could do the public service loan forgiveness. But a lot of y'all qualify and don't even know that you do. Okay. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. Jen says, I received an email from student loan that because of my SSI benefits, you don't. That's absolutely right. And the surprising part is I've been saying that for such a very long time that I am shocked that I still find people who are getting Social Security disability. Now, you mean SSDI, not SSI. Let me know, Jen, because if you get SSDI, that's disability. SSI is regular retirement for people who are 62 and older, okay? But yes, you do not have to pay your student loans if you're getting disability or if you're even under a doctor's care and a doctor can write a letter saying that because of your illness, because some of y'all are putting in for Social Security disability right now and are awaiting a decision. But if if your doctor that you're seeing is on your side saying you are not going to be able to have gainful employment, that is enough reason to qualify to apply for forgiveness of your student loans, okay? You also can throw those student loans into your bankruptcy, especially if you're somebody that has a lot of student loans. If your student loans are high, but that income is low, and that's a lot of y'all, that might be something to think about, okay? Now, will they discharge all of it? Probably not, especially if you're a younger person, okay? The courts are probably going to look at it and go, nope, you have the ability to make money, so we might give you a break. We might knock 10,000 off, but we ain't going to knock it all the way off. But if you're an older individual and you ain't been working for a while, or if you're a disabled vet and you're on your 100% or you get unemployability 100%, what you waiting on? You just submit your application. I wouldn't wait for them to tell me I don't have to pay. I submit my application and I take a picture of it so I can show the day that I sent it, and then I wait. Okay, and that's what y'all have to do. All right, Twin Boys says, I have Parent Plus loans on my credit. How can I get help? My credit is terrible now. Yeah, Parent Plus loans is a mess. Okay, so Parent Plus loans, for those who do not know, those are where the parents take out loans for their children. The loans are basically co-signed by the parent, and they go on both individuals' credit. And if you don't pay, that it affects both people. Okay. Parent Plus loans can be well, you can get rid of Parent Plus loans if there's disability, Social Security disability is involved. Um, you can. I need to check if I'm not mistaken. I believe they don't let you. I don't think they let you throw that one into bankruptcy. If you send me an email, twinboy77 shamikasaves at gmail, I will get you the exact verbiage on that so we can check for bankruptcy. They really, what they don't do is they do not give a lot of programs for Parent Plus loans. Unfortunately, to me, it's kind of a trap. I would only tell people who are 100% disabled veterans to do Parent Plus loans because right now, and I don't even really want to say it out loud, but if you're a disabled vet and you take out Parent Plus loans, when you go to get your regular loans forgiven, they forgive those Parent Plus loans because they are your loans as well. Okay, so if you're 100% vet and you want to hurry up and rush and take out some loans so that you can put your kids through school, I will absolutely do it. And do not apply for your forgiveness yet, and wait until they are graduated and then put in your forgiveness so that your loans and their loans can be dismissed all at one time. Okay, keep it on the low. Right now, that little bit of gray area has not been closed, so that is something that you could do. Okay. It says you thought they got rid of the hardship and the IDR. So, couple different things. Department of Education got rid of the new SAVE program that was created under the Biden administration. So since they got rid of that, that brought back all the other programs that were there before. It was ICR, IBR, and IDR. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, they are only doing income based, which is the IBR, and I believe the other one is ICR. Okay. And I think that's like income contingent. The whole point is they all base it off your income. So one, the more dependents you have, the smaller the payment. And the second thing is you can get your hardship and get on one of these pay plans through your servicer, not through the Department of Education. Your servicer is the middleman. Okay, Sally Mae. Well, they don't even use Sally Mae no more. Aid Advantage, all of those places, Mohela, those are your student loan servicers. Those are who you would call. So if you wanted to consolidate all of your loans, which I absolutely don't understand why y'all have not, if y'all got 17 disbursements on your credit report, which 17 trade lines of every time you get your student loan payment, that's cool. But that means there's 17 different chances. If you miss one payment or whatever, it can now affect your credit. So to me, it's easier to call, consolidate your loans into one, and then you can pick a plan. And hardship is one of those if you can't make your payments, and your student loan servicer will put you on a plan through them. Okay, they coordinate with Department of Education. You don't have to. You can just go to the Department of Education website to verify what they got going on. Okay. Do you know anything about guardianship over an adult child? If that child is handicapped or have mentally incapacitated, then you shouldn't have too much problems. I'm not sure if you're asking about paperwork wise, but if you've got a question, you can ask, because I do paralegal work, so I've done guardianship paperwork, so you can ask. If I don't know, I don't know. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jen. It says, you're the GOAT. I'm 62 in November. My loans are low, not even 10 grand. That's great. That is very, very good. And if you are 62, that means you have applied for you should have applied for SSI. Okay. And if you are, let me know, Jen, if you got SSI. Okay. Or SSDI because of your age. Just want to know. What about social workers for the state? The state is a state government, okay? Absolutely. You absolutely can apply for the program. See, what they don't tell you is they make you think that public employees are just military, police officers, and firefighters, but they are librarians, and librarians work at the same schools that y'all work for, okay? Librarians are employed by the same people that you, Uniqua, who is a social worker, is employed by. So if they can get it, you can too. Y'all got the same employer, okay? Lisa says $30,000 removed because of your help. Congratulations, Lisa says. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, okay? And whoever you want to recommend, I appreciate it. Y'all be sending, man, I don't know who I be talking to, but I be talking to y'all family members, and I appreciate y'all giving me the referrals because I care and I want to help people out. Okay, so Jen, to you. All right, so you got a letter saying that because you get SSI, you don't have to pay your student loans. I want to make sure I'm clear before I announce that because I was under the impression it was SSDI, which is a disability by itself. So let me know that, okay? Skinny Jeans and Britt says, what about if I work for government contract? If you work for a government contractor, that is not nonprofit. You have to be, your employer has to be considered a nonprofit, okay? In order to get that, okay? Okay, Lisa, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, hey Shay says just join. Can you tell me what you were going over? We're going over any questions y'all may have. What's going on, what y'all seeing in the news, the economy. Look, Trump's big, beautiful bill, which is kind of stupid. I do want to let y'all know that as far as taxes goes, I told y'all that if you've been owing the last year or two, well, hell, the last 4 years, please put your seatbelt on because you're going to be owing for the next 5, okay? If y'all did not know, Trump's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, is his tax plan is what you guys were under during the Biden administration, okay? So I know a lot of people probably were mad at him, and it was like he didn't have anything to do with it, okay? When a president puts something into effect, it goes usually, well, not usually, it goes into effect during the next president that follows them. So the Biden administration, we were under Trump's tax plan. Now Trump is in. We're still under his plan that's ending. And for the next 4 years after that, we will have another president at some point. We're still going to be under his tax plan until it is changed. So if you have been owing, then please be under, please don't be under any illusion that you will not continue to owe. You will. So if you have not adjusted your taxes, if you have are not claiming kids, if you have a business, if you're a business owner and you have not been tracking your expenses, all of these things you need to do because you're going to owe, okay? And you're going to keep owing. And now that the system have been updated, they are keeping track very, very quickly, okay? They are keeping track, not quickly, efficiently. So it used to be it would take a long time for you to find out, you know, for the IRS to send you a letter. Now it's not, okay? And interest is going to continue to accrue, and we don't want that, all right? Does ADHD and major depression qualify for SSDI for a child 9 years old? Yes, absolutely. If y'all did not know, the same way the VA, for you guys who apply for VA disability, the same way the VA has a manual that outlines every disability and what you have to have in order to qualify for a certain percentage, so does the Social Security Administration, SSA. Social Security Administration also has a manual that if you were to look up, Queen Brittany, major depressive disorder, it will tell you that they have to have X, Y, and Z in order to qualify. Here goes something that a lot of y'all did not know. You can have diabetes and apply for Social Security disability. Now, that probably sounds crazy because a lot of people with diabetes. It has everything to do with how that thing is worded, the doctors you work with, and you got to look in that manual. The one thing that I will say about the government is they don't hide anything from you. Everything is there. You just need to know where to look. That is the part that they hide. They don't tell you where to look, nor do they let you know that something like that exists. But it does, okay? They can't set guidelines and say you can get disability for certain things and then not show you or tell you in writing what those guidelines are, okay? That's just like if you were to go to a nightclub and you walk up there and they turn you away and say you ain't dressed right and you ask for the dress code and they don't have it, they don't have no standing. Now they can make you leave, but that is the wrong way to be. And they just did that where I'm at now. They're now making people, these businesses, post a dress code because they can't enforce something that's not in writing. And the same thing with the government. They do that. Okay, so it's out there. Um, Shay, I hope I answered your question. Hey, hold on. Let me see. Let me see. All right, answer that. Do you do any grant? Do you know of any grants available or anything about rental assistance? So I can tell you right now, hey Shay, money is not out there. Trump has given the green light to a lot of, especially these Republican-run states, to not have these welfare type of programs. So you are going to find that if you guys need assistance, you're going to have to go to nonprofits to see if they have any funding, and you can easily just do that by dialing 211, which is the United Way, and you can just ask them. Okay, United Way does, I think they even have a text program where you can text them, and they'll text you the resources. But a lot of places are running out of money. Look at my niece; she was going to a free summer program run by the school. Well, they just got a notice on Friday saying we didn't get any more money, so y'all can't come back. Okay, so things are drying up, and it's crazy because kids need stuff to do. All right. But what would they rather you do? They rather you miss your job, miss work to watch those kids, and or punish you for having kids, and or make you pay a whole lot more money to these businesses just because you need somebody to watch your kids. Okay, craziness. All right. Let's see. And again, y'all hit the like and share button. I know it's 7:52. I can stay on here a little bit longer if y'all want to see if I can answer any questions. Jen says, I got to get right. I just got a letter from the IRS. I got over $2,000 in interest and haven't did my taxes since 2021 and owe 2019 over 11,000 plus interest. I got to get right ASAP. You damn right. Okay. Nobody should be owing the IRS that much money. Okay. I was doing somebody's taxes today, and they made 200 and almost $250,000 without any expenses. This person owed 60 grand off top with no this is with taxes taken out of their check, but they made money in their side business and they're doing very well, and they paid no taxes, and they owed $60,000. Now they sent me some expenses, and the expenses were about $74,000, and it only brought them down to 30,000. So they still owe 30 grand, even with putting in $70,000 worth of expenses. Okay, so this is very, 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 very important. I can't stress it enough how important it is for you guys to get this tax thing right, or be prepared to pay. Okay, if you don't file, they are penalizing you for that. And a lot of y'all think, oh, I can just file an extension. Well, that doesn't save everybody. Filing an extension is for individuals who plan on getting a refund. If you know that you owe the government by April 15th and you put in an extension because you don't want to pay right now, and that's what a lot of people do. I do taxes, so I talk to y'all. I know. You still going to owe them. You're still going to owe them what you owe from not paying enough taxes, but then they're going to penalize you on top of it because you still owed during October 15th. They will only, now they don't mind if you file an extension, but filing an extension does not prevent you from being penalized. And if you look at, well, your tax preparer should show you this, but it clearly says that if you owe, you will still be penalized. Okay? They don't care because they want their money by April 15th. They do not want to wait till October 15th. But they don't mind you waiting until October 15th to get your refund. All right? So, Jen, if you have not filed since 2019, this will be the time to do so because you're accruing. And even if you wanted to file bankruptcy, which a lot of people do when they owe a significant amount to the IRS, you cannot file bankruptcy if you have not filed your taxes. And the only way you can get around that is if you don't work. But if you owe, if you have received income, you have to file your taxes. So there's really no getting around it. The sooner you do it, the better. You can hit me up. I can help you with that. But they are charging you the longer you wait. Okay, there's a monthly penalty, and then there's that annual, that one-time penalty because you did not file on time. So the IRS is making money just like your credit card companies. And a lot of y'all sleeping on them because you think, oh, they're not doing nothing. They being quiet. They being quiet for right now. Okay, that's not gonna happen all the time. Are you still helping with student loans from the schools on the list? Absolutely. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I said that earlier that they have opened it back up now, that you guys can actually apply to do your paperwork for the borrower's defense. If for nothing else, at least get your loans in forbearance so that you are not having to pay them. Okay. You don't have to worry about them garnishing your wages, because they will do it. Okay. And I know y'all probably can't remember, but I've been doing taxes that long. There have been more taxes refunds I've seen taken because of unpaid student loans than refunds. Okay. A lot of y'all get mad because that's when y'all getting the most money. And now y'all ain't getting nothing because they took it before you had a chance to catch it. So, again, they put some money from the Biden administration with the Infrastructure Act. They put some money in these systems, and the systems are doing what they're supposed to do now. So they catching. Hey, Miss Cynthia, how you doing? Miss you. Okay, Letitia says, does Social Security accept guardianship paperwork or POA paperwork? Do they accept it as in you applying? Power of attorney? No. Unless the person is incapacitated. And Letitia, you probably need to send me a message on Messenger so that I can ask you some questions versus here, because I don't want you to put out too much stuff. But that's how that will probably work, okay? Because I'm gonna have some questions, and then me and you just gonna keep going back and forth. So send me a message on Facebook, and then I'll message you after this, okay? Cynthia says, yes, I saw that they would post dress codes where I am too. I'm telling you, they're doing too much. And post dress codes for what? Let me know, Miss Cynthia, because I'll be all over the place. Okay, so make sure that I'm still tracking. So Jen, just because somebody messed you up, do not let that go. Some of y'all treat taxes just like y'all treat when you go to church. Okay, you go to church, somebody make you mad, and then you like, you know what, I ain't never going back. You cannot do your taxes the same way, okay? And plus, God said it ain't his fault, and Uncle Sam is saying it's not his fault either. So, unfortunately, you went to a bad tax preparer. I do taxes. You can hit me up. We can talk about it. But you got to file your taxes, because if you don't, they just going to take it out of you one way or another. And they're going to get more aggressive with taking y'all funds. You see they're taking the EBT. You see they're taking the list of foods off of the SNAP list. I mean, slowly but surely, they are encroaching on things and stripping away things. But because so much other drama is going on in the world, we're not paying attention, okay? I'm paying attention, and hopefully I'm paying attention, for y'all to let y'all know. But we can't sleep on these things, okay? Can you tell me about the big, beautiful bill and how it affects school in North Carolina? I keep hearing that. The only thing that I've seen right now, okay, because one thing y'all have to realize about the big, beautiful bill is what Trump did is at a high federal level, okay? From that high federal level, these organizations that get this money, they then disperse this money to your states, okay, and to certain departments that your states may go into. And in your question, Queen Brittany, yours would probably be whoever handles the education department for your state, okay? The biggest change that I've seen education-wise is what they're going to do when it comes to how much money they're going to now give out for the student loans, okay? They're putting caps on, they've minimized some of the amounts that you guys can get in loans. That has changed. I don't have a free phone with me right now to give y'all some of the changes in that, but to me that right now is the biggest change other than what they did with the SNAP and EBT. Mind you, A lot of y'all not going to feel majority of this stuff until 2026, because that's when a lot of it comes into play. Right now, it's summertime. They're making all these decisions, and then in the fall it's gonna get a little quiet because it's gonna be holiday season, and y'all not gonna be thinking about it. And the next thing you know, it's gonna be tax season. They're gonna be taking your money, and then all of these new things are gonna come into play, and then that's when y'all gonna start feeling some of the squeeze. Okay, so right now it's okay. Next year is probably when it's gonna be an issue. So Queen Brittany, I don't know if I answered your question because I didn't see anything specifically state-wise, because that would not come from the big, beautiful bill. That would come from your state. But the one thing that they did change federally was they put limits on what you can get student loan-wise, okay? Letitia says, the book for disability, is it on the web to take a look? Absolutely. It's a whole PDF, okay? You can actually go to the website, and you can type in your disability, or you can just get the PDF, the book, okay? I highly recommend y'all getting that. So the people who've been asking me questions about Social Security disability, get that handbook. There's a Social Security disability handbook, okay, that lists these disabilities and what you got to have in order to be disabled. It doesn't mean you lying, but if you're going to apply, you should know the dang on rules. That's where me and a lot of people get it mixed up. A lot of people think I encourage y'all to lie. I don't encourage anybody to lie, but I do encourage you to be informed, because you can't defend something if you don't even know what you're defending, okay? And if somebody tells you that you're not disabled, but you say that you are, then you got to tell them, according to what you wrote in this book, why don't I meet these requirements if I think I do? That's what their job is, but that's also what your job is, to challenge, okay? So you can't challenge if you don't know. All right, let me see what y'all are asking real quick. And again, share if you like. My email is shamikasaves@gmail.com. Also, if you do not know, I do have a YouTube channel under the same name. I have been posting videos. Even though I have not been going live, I've been posting videos just a little, just to keep of what's going on. Again, with this Trump administration, there's been a lot of this, a lot of talking, a lot of yapping. And y'all know I don't like to do videos on what ifs, because what ifs just put you in a tiff. And like they said, if what if was a fifth, I'd be drunk. So I don't like to talk about what ifs. I only like to talk about concrete stuff, because that's what really pertains to you. It's the stuff that actually is passed and approved. Talking about what could happen, what will happen, what should happen. Ain't nobody got time for all that. And that is what the news does. That's why people can't watch the news, because y'all stressed out, because they talk about a lot of what ifs. The only thing that they talk about that's concrete is who pow somebody and who is no longer finna wake up today, okay? But other than that, a lot of that stuff is just something to talk about. I don't want to be up here talking if I don't have nothing to give. If I don't have anything good to say or useful information to give, I'm just going to be quiet. Just like that. Okay? Jen, if you work on the 1099, that means you are not paying any taxes. But you, okay, so you get, all right, so you do part-time, 1099, and you get SSDI. The only thing I can say with working on 1099, you're not paying enough taxes. You ain't taking out any taxes from your well, you are taking taxes out of your SSI. But if you're not paying taxes, you're going to end up owing. So if I were you, if you're on the 1099, you need to start getting you some expenses. You can go and get you that Schedule C form. You can type that in on Google, IRS Schedule C. And look at that form, and it gives you all the categories of expenses. Okay, so if you work 1099, you need to be keeping some mileage. You probably got uniform. If you got to groom yourself, get your hair and nails done because of whatever type of job you have. I don't know what you do. These are some of the things that you need to start keeping track of, so that you can get back down to where you do not owe. All right, that is going to be the problem. Mahalia says, working while on SSDI, do you risk losing your benefits? You can work while you're on SSDI. Here is what I suggest. If you want to work, you need to do the back to work program. They have, I forgot, that might not be the exact correct name. I would not risk messing up my SSDI benefits by trying to be slick and working. I would tell you that it is better to do the back to work program, where they allow you to work and they know that you're working. The issue is that you got to think about, what are you telling these people? If you working, that you disabled, Are you disabled? And when it's time for you to have a review, are they going to keep you on your disability, or are they going to look to take you off? Okay, something that a lot of y'all don't know is the disability usually can extend for 3 years, 5 years, and some is permanent. But if you're working, you might put yourself in that category that we need to do a reevaluation in 3 years. You know, maybe we need to let this person work for a couple of years, get some trainings and some certifications. Maybe they can go to college. Now they're in a status where they are gainfully employable. You know, you're able to get a job. If you become employable, you are no longer disabled. So you have to make the determination if the money on disability is good enough for you, or if you want to work. That I can't tell you, but I'm just letting you know, what your options are, okay? Can I help with applying for SSDI? I do not recommend anybody get anybody who is not an attorney, and I'm not an attorney yet, but I will tell you this. Since SSDI is considered to be a personal injury claim, you can go to a personal injury lawyer, or Social Security lawyer. They're still classified as personal injury. You can hire them. The great part about getting a Social Security disability lawyer is you don't pay any money up front. They get paid when you get paid. Same thing like a personal injury attorney. So you can hire them, work the hell out of them, and they don't get paid until you get approved. So if you are trying to get Social Security disability, I would tell you it is best to have a lawyer, because in most cases, a lot of y'all, hold on, let me do this thing on TikTok real quick. A lot of y'all are going to find that you're going to get denied twice, and then the third time you're going to go to court, and then it's when you're going to get approved. And a lot of, most times they don't allow anybody else to come in with you other than your representation, and I have not seen them allow a lay person to be a representative, okay? They want, like an attorney, or you have to do it yourself. So if you're trying to get Social Security disability, please, by all means, Queen Brittany, find you an attorney, hopefully an attorney that has doctors that work with them, because they know how to write up your claims to support your Social Security disability claim, and just pay them when you get approved, okay? Get in front of it, not behind it. So I would not recommend, I could give you the book, the handbook, but I recommend you get them to do it. And then your job is you could just make sure they're doing their job by writing down what you need them to write in order to make sure you meet the requirements to get the disability, okay? EBT, what's up with that? EBT, so basically with the EBT, under 60 able-bodied individuals, they got to put in some work hours during the month, okay? I think it's 80 hours a month. It's not a lot, but if you're able-bodied, you got to put in some work to continue to get the benefits. Military individuals are not affected. We're talking about that, but that's not true. If you're an individual with kids, they're not bothering you because they want you to be able to be home to take care of your children. But if you're childless and you're getting food stamps, you're going to have to go to work. That's probably about the biggest change that they have going on right now. Lisa, people who get EBT, please go get those free passports before he pulls it also. Not true. Sorry, Lisa. I thought that was true as well, but that is not true. There is no free passport to anybody, okay? The passport falls under the Department of State, not the USIS program, okay? And the USIS program is the program that you go through when you're trying to get immigration, okay? Like Homeland Security, okay? And they do have a fee waiver program where you don't have to pay for certain things, but that's only for immigration documents, not the passport. I remember I did a video on that, and because some websites say yes, some websites say no, but then I was like, you know what, let me go to the source. I know passports fall under Department of State. Went on their page, not true. So Trump can't take it because it didn't exist to begin with. If you want a passport, you're going to have to pay regular just like everybody else. They consider that to be like a luxury, okay? So just FYI, I just wanted to clear that up, okay? Hey, Gemini. You says, I hear it will affect IEPs and 504s. Now, 504s can mean anything. Let me know, Brittany, because 504s got something to do with schools. So let me know if that's what we're talking about, IEP and 504s. It says, how does that work with kids being on SSDI? Are you still able to work, or is there a cap? If your kids are on SSDI, that's your kids. You can work. That's not your income. That's your children. It does not affect the parent. Gemini says they're definitely going to reevaluate. 10 times out of 10, they're going to stop the payments. Yeah. If you start working, and so there goes your answer, Mahalia. Be careful. Because you do risk. If you work, you're employable to them. That means you ain't as disabled as you once were. But again, if your disability payment's only $700, but your bills is $3,000, we might gotta, maybe you need to let it go. And find a job. But I can't make that determination for you. And it's good to talk to you too, huh? Okay. It says posting dress clubs. Oh, posting the dress clubs at clubs and lounges, start publicizing them when the turkey leg help was in business. You got that right. So, because businesses should not be able to turn you away if they don't have posted rules about dressing. I got turned away. I'm ashamed to say it, but I'm an auntie, but that don't mean I don't like to show some skin. Okay. And I got turned away, twice. And, I asked them why, because there was no dress code. And the guy said, because it's a distraction to the workers. And I'm like, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That if they looking, they should look. One, that's number one, they should be looking. But two, if they can't do their job, then you might need to find you some new employees. Okay. Either that or I'm just that damn bad. Okay. That I'm distracting these people from getting a check because they looking at me. I don't believe that. But I can dream. So yes, they need to start posting proof of why you can and cannot get in someplace. Okay. Hey, Miss Aura. I love watching the news. It does not bother me. It used to, but it don't bother me one bit, because one thing I'm gonna tell you about the news, it's gonna tell you what is, if you separate what's really happening versus the fodder, them just talking about what if. I don't care to listen to them talk about, when you look on CNN and MSNBC and they got a round table of people. I don't care about that, because that's what ifs. I want to know what's the final decision, okay? And when I look at crime, fraud, that's happening. I need to know what's going on. So these things I need to pay attention to and stay in the loop, because criminals are getting smarter. And I'm going to tell you, the harder it is for us to make it in the economy, the smarter the criminals are going to become, which means you become a victim. You have the chances of you becoming a victim the percentage is a lot larger. And we need to know what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. And that's one reason why I do pay attention to the news. Okay? That's just me. Okay, Letitia, y'all hit the like button. I appreciate that. I'm gonna stay on here to 8:30. So if y'all got anything, y'all can let me know. Okay, Jen, you said you got a business and a nonprofit. That's great. We got to get you out of debt. Okay, with the IRS. That's the big thing. Okay. Top intro says, I'm on workers' comp. I might settle for $140K, but these workers' comp checks are barely covering my expenses. If I work, everything is dismissed. What do I do? If I were you, I would take the workers' comp, the $140K. I would settle if at all possible, because workers' comp is personal injury, which means no taxes taken out. And that also means they're not going to give you a tax form. So that is your money. Clean break. Okay. I would take the money. But as long as it doesn't say you can never go back to work, because workers' comp usually doesn't say that you can't go back. I would take that money, be responsible, pay bills if you got bills to pay. Okay. Now, if you got hospital bills, I'm not paying those with that money. They just gonna have to, now I'm not for nothing. If you're real smart, I would take that money. All right. Okay. Let me see. Two things. Depend on how long it's gonna take for that money to come in. If you got debts, I would file bankruptcy so I can get that money. I can get my debts out of the way. That way I ain't got to worry about paying nobody. If you get the money first, you still have to wait a certain amount of time before you do. I would wait a certain amount of time before I file bankruptcy because you got $140,000 in the bank. How you gonna tell the courts you can't pay your bills when you got this money? Which is why I would say file first. But if you get the money first, I'm not telling you to spend it, but it needs to go somewhere so that when you file bankruptcy, the $140,000 is not just sitting there as an asset, okay? And then I will wipe out my bills. I'll make my life a little bit comfortable. And then when you feel you're able to go back to work, I would then go back to work. If it's workers' comp, that means you got hurt on the job. That means they're at fault, especially if they want to pay you. And yeah, I would level up my life, become debt-free, and I would wait a little bit, and then I would go back to work. If you can't, I would get on disability, all right? Let me see what y'all saying. Okay. Y'all dropping some good questions tonight. I love this. Queen Brittany says, yes, I heard the big, beautiful bill will affect the school IEPs and 504 plan, stopping them. I'm not surprised. That is probably going to be a requirement. See, the one thing that I don't like about this administration is they are using the money as like a carrot. Okay, and in order for these states to get money, they're trying to say you have to do what we want you to do in order to get the money. The government has always been like that. The difference is this administration is being loud and proud about it. It used to be, it was very quiet, discreet. It was sent in between emails. It was, it was discussed during office meetings where we didn't have to see this playing out in our faces. We just found out the end result. The difference now is they letting you know all these things, which puts people in a state of panic, pisses people off, and then they're still going to get their way because these schools can't operate without the funding, okay? Unless you're Harvard or Princeton or one of those places, they get money by donors where they don't have to listen to the government. But everybody else, they got to do what they say they're going to do, okay? And IEPs are, I believe, aren't they individual, I want to say education plans? I think, if that's what the IEP stands for. And if you got something, Queen Brittany, send it to me, and I can read up on it. And then when I come back, I'll be here next Monday. Then I can explain it, okay? It says, Jen says, well, I'm calling and hiring you. I'm a whole mess. I need to get straight soon. Absolutely no problem. I'm telling you, I don't know why it's so much easier to help everybody else fix their life. But then you ask me about mine, and it's like, I want somebody to do that same thing for me sometime. But one thing I will tell you is you're in good hands. I do not believe in throwing everything on you at one time. We got to do one thing at a time. You got to be in order. There are steps that you must follow in order to be successful, okay? And that's successful in anything, to erase debt, successful in making money, successful in whatever you do. We can't do it all at once. We take time. So if you call me, we work together, you do a consultation, you got some issues, and you need somebody to hold you accountable and give you a plan on what you're trying to do to get to your goal, please know I do babysit you a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just how, I like to go in order. I don't want to throw everything at you at once, okay? Hey, Chief Maurice. Yeah, I'm back. I am back, okay? Okay, so yes, Auntie is outside, definitely. Cynthia says, yep, I watch the news because I want to know what's going on in these streets. I'm telling you, you better know what's going on in these streets. I'm telling you, you got to know. So, okay, so one of my friends who follows the market, not the stock market, but the, I guess you could say the coins, okay, told me, and one of my other friends been telling me to buy XRP. So I'm going to listen and buy XRP, and it is XR and a P. They've been around for a very long time. They have been pretty stable. Since I didn't know a lot about crypto, I kind of got out. But they told me today, please, if you never listened to me before, listen and go buy some. So I'm throwing it out to whoever's listening. If you got a couple extra dollars, buy you some, okay? I know people don't believe that we're going to go there to crypto, but we are soon. That's going to be the best way that they can control the money, and track how we spend and everything, because right now people still are using cash. Cash is hard to trace. And I want y'all to think about the dollar bill the same way you thought about those pay phones. Y'all remember we used to put the cord in the phone, or you used to hit zero, make a collect call. Now you barely see them. And if you do see them, all you better do is take a picture with them because they do not work, okay? That's the same way the dollar bill is going to be. And I've been saying this for a very, very long time. And I know people don't believe it because that's what we've grown up with. And we don't know anything else. You probably never been on food stamps because food stamps used to be $1. Used to be the, the booklet too. Y'all remember? We used to rip ours out, okay? So those food coupons went away and now you got the card. Please believe. Same thing that happened with the money. And it did. We got the green dollar bills. Now we got the debit card. Now you're going to find some places are cashless. They don't want cash. If you go to Dollar General or any of those places right now, what it's going to tell you? Card only. Debit card or credit card only. They don't want cash. They're moving away from it. Slowly, but they are. Okay? So you got a couple extra dollars. I would tell you to please take you some time and buy something. Okay, whether that be some Bitcoin, which is expensive, or you get you some XRP, which is not that expensive. Okay. Jay Gray, so glad to see you smiling. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. If I'm gonna buy, I can buy it on Coinbase. You can buy cryptocurrency a lot of places. The biggest thing that you guys just got to be careful about is remembering your login information and not. When you get these spam emails, do not send anybody your login stuff, okay? Because people are logging in and stealing your stuff. Crypto is hard to track once it's taken, once it's stolen, okay? So you want to be very careful with your password. You want to hold it like you would your Social Security card and birth certificate, all right? Can you answer my question on YouTube? Too big to send here. My name is Top Intro. Lucas, let me see. I don't see your question. At my work, have a cafeteria and they take no cash. See that? You can't even buy food in the cafeteria without having a debit card. How much XRP? I do not know the exact amount. When I just got the text not too long before I got on here, and I said I was going to announce that. Because I have a friend both of these people have been doing cryptocurrency for a long time, and they have been telling me for a long time to get it. And I did get it, but then I sold it. Okay? Lucas knows I do not see your question. Okay, I'm sorry. 2 to 4K weeks, I should get it. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay? See, look at that. Randall Likes says cryptocurrency is the way. I definitely do believe that. We're going there. And if y'all did not know, Trump has a coin. And because of this little meme coin that he has boosted his income, how much money he has now. His income level has been boosted significantly because people have been buying this coin. Okay? Now, can they buy anything with it at the moment? No. Okay, not that I know of. I have seen no place take a Trump coin, but they are definitely buying. And because so many people are buying, that helps give it value. Okay, and then who knows what's going to be next. So the Federal Reserve is trying to come out with the coin. And this is, and the Federal Reserve is not government, but they're affiliated with the government, right? So if these organizations and agencies or these people are coming out with their own coin, this should be proof to let y'all know that we're going that way. Okay, we are. I will not buy a Trump coin at all. I'm not adding $1 more to his bottom line. I am not. I am not. Okay, I'm not. So somebody else can, but I'm not. The same way it can go up in value, he can do one thing tomorrow and it will lose value. I don't want any coin that is based off of the popularity of a person because people do things that piss us off and people are fickle, okay? So the same way the stock market can crash and burn, if one major thing happens bad in the world, same thing with these meme coins, okay? I don't want my money to be left in the hands of the class president, okay? So no. Chief Maria, did I get the stuff on Dropbox? If you send me some messages, I didn't see it, I will go and check. Send me a text, okay? Because I spoke to 2 of y'all today, and 2 of y'all were supposed to send me some stuff in Dropbox. So send me a text, please, so that I can go and check, because I can go and take care of that tonight. You see Letitia or Miss Aura being funny, okay? That's right. I would not buy a Trump coin or anything else. Okay. I don't even want to stay in the food hotel. Okay. And that ain't even the word I want to use. But I'm not even staying there at all. I don't. Okay. Me personally, he has a lot of people he has to pay back favors to that helped him get to where he is right now. And he is going to care about them more than he's ever going to care about us. Again, we don't add to his campaign. Okay. All right, so it's about 8:30. If y'all don't have any questions, and of course, I don't want to keep y'all. I just want y'all to know a little bit about those changes. Keep letting y'all know that there are ways to fix your situation. We just have to get in front of it and be proactive. That means filing your taxes. Stay up on your credit, please, especially now with the overturning of the medical, the act with the medical bills, because that has been overturned. And the crazy part is we may get another president, we may get another Democratic president that may come back in and say, no, we want it to go back the other way. And so one thing is y'all can never expect something to stay the way that it is. There is no such thing as one thing written in stone and it stays forever, because people, as we're seeing now, anything can be overturned. All right. I'm sending you an email by tomorrow. Please do. If y'all want to send me an email, it's shamikasaves@gmail. If anything I said resonated with you, or anybody in your family that you know, send them my way. Okay, I'm still the same whether I'm here or not. I believe in good credit. I believe in you need to have life insurance. I believe in not using your debit card. Use your wallet in your phone. I got a lot of things that I subscribe to that I do myself that I just don't tell, not just for y'all, because people money be funny. We're in a strange time. And unfortunately, we have to operate a little smarter than the people who are waiting for us to fail, okay? And those are usually the scammers and the government, okay? All right, so if y'all don't have anything from me, then of course I'm gonna let y'all go have a wonderful Monday. And I got work to do. And if y'all sent me any messages, you text me. If you're gonna send me an email, I'm gonna go now and look at that and reply. And yeah, so if y'all want to book a consultation, you go to shamikasaves.com. Other than that, y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for being here. I will be here on Monday. I just been enjoying my time, but I have been keeping up with what's been going on because I want to make sure I give you guys good information. And thank you, Miss Aura. If it wasn't for you texting me today, I would not have gotten on. I usually don't have to meet my Mondays usually aren't as free as they were, but it is. So I appreciate that. And yes, I'll come on Monday. And if I happen to just pop in on Wednesday, it's just because I choose to. User72 says, what do I think about online banks and HISA? I am not a big fan of online banks simply because online banks don't have the same requirements as a brick and mortar bank. And a lot of these banks, especially banks like Chime, they will just up and close your account and you got to wait to get your money because of some little small requirement that you had that did not meet whatever that they had. And I can tell you that's true because you can go and take every debit card you got and try to add it to your Cash App. See which ones will allow you to add. Okay, I tried to add my Bank of America to Cash App today. You know what they told me? Some of your transactions do not meet our requirements. Therefore, we cannot link your account. That ain't none of their damn business, okay? But Cash App is an online bank, okay? So, not a big fan of online banks. I do understand that we have to use them, especially for y'all who have bad banking history and you need a second chance bank. The goal is to settle with the banks that you had problems with or file bankruptcy and settle it that way. But you need to have a brick and mortar bank in your back pocket, okay? The HISA part, I'm not sure exactly what that stands for. Forgive me, but I'm just not a big fan of online banks anyway, okay? I'm tired of paying $3 because y'all don't have no location for me, okay? If you want to have online banks, it's fine, but please make sure you have one of the big nationwide banks because you might need them for things, right? And one of them is to be able to walk into a store, okay? To order a new debit card when the other one got, taken. A lot of times you cannot do that as easy with these online banks. So there's limitations with them, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. High yield savings account. Thank you. I'm not against high yield savings account. The only problem with high yield savings account is the intro fee. Some high yield savings accounts say, yeah, we'll give you this much interest, but you got to put $5,000 into the account first. If you do not have the money, do not waste your time. You can make you can compare. Look at your bank and see if a CD that they're offering is giving better interest than savings accounts, because right now savings accounts really don't give a great payout, which is why people are not putting their money in the bank. Why put your money in the bank? The bank might be giving you 2% interest, but they are making $2,000, 2,000% interest on you, because they take your money and everybody else's money and they put it in the same stock market that you guys won't put your own money into. Okay, so basically you're loaning somebody else money to put in the stock market because you too afraid to do it. They know how it goes. We need to learn. Okay, so if the bank can put it in the stock market, why can't you? If they can earn 2,000%, why can't you? Okay, so I'm not a big fan of putting money in the banks. You need a bank, but I'm not a big fan of it. There are other places you can put your money that you can earn money, and a CD is a bank. Is it, it belong? You get it at a bank, but that is usually guaranteed the percentage that you get. Okay, the longer you let the money sit in there, the higher the percentage. But again, you are loaning your money to the bank for them to go put in something else. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right. So thank you, Miss Sharon. Miss Sharon said, thank you for all your hard work. Shamika, love you. Love you too, Miss Sharon. Y'all be blessed. If I can help you or anybody that you know, hit me up. Let me know. This is what I enjoy doing very much. Yeah, so I guess I'll see y'all next Monday or when I come back on, and I will talk to you guys soon. Okay? Y'all have a good one. Bye. See you.